What is going on, everybody? A few weeks ago, Nintendo unveiled the SNES Classic, and we all knew this was eventually going to happen, especially after the success of the NES Classic. And I'm perfectly fine with this. The Super Nintendo is my favorite gaming console of all time, bar none. I can literally sit here for hours on end naming off all of the great games that I played for the Super Nintendo. So this is awesome that they are actually making an SNES Classic. Now, am I going to get one? I might, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get one. Now, if I happen to come across one, I will pick it up, definitely. But I'm not going to go out of my way to get one because I did that for the NES Classic, and I just couldn't find one anywhere, and it was driving me nuts, and I eventually gave up. And there's no way in hell I was going to pay an outrageous sum of money from these scalpers to buy an NES Classic. Now, Nintendo has said that they were going to make more SNES Classics because of the high demand that there was for the NES Classic. And then you have retailers like EB Games in Canada and other places that are actually limiting customers to only buying one SNES Classic. So maybe there will be a higher chance of actually getting an SNES Classic, and that would be great. Now, as for the games list of the SNES Classic, it's actually really good. There's a lot of great games on there. It's missing some great games, like there's no Turtles in Time, there's no Chrono Trigger, there's no Donkey Kong Country 2, but it's still a really solid list. I mean, it's hard to make a list of only just 30 Super Nintendo games because there's just so many great ones. But ever since they announced the NES Classic, there was something in the back of my mind that I was thinking about, and I wanted to get all of your opinion on this. Now, the Nintendo Switch came out in March, and I actually own a Nintendo Switch. I'm eventually going to do a video discussing my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch now that I've had it for about a month, and I'll get to that eventually. But it hasn't had a virtual console yet. There are no NES games, SNES games, or even Game Boy games on the Switch yet. And I don't know if Nintendo promised a specific date they were going to launch this virtual console. And I honestly don't know why it isn't on there now, especially since the Wii had one at launch, and the Wii U had one at launch too. There's really no excuse why the Switch, a few months into its life cycle, doesn't have one yet. Because I would love to play some of these old classic games on the go with the Switch. I would love it. But I'm wondering if Nintendo's holding it back for the SNES Classic. Because I'm starting to wonder if they're holding it back to see how much the SNES Classic will sell. Because maybe in their mind, if the SNES Classic sells extremely well, like way above their expectations, I'm wondering if they're not going to actually release Super Nintendo games on the Switch. Because, in their mind, why would they go out of their way to release these games on the Switch when people can just buy an SNES Classic? Now, I hope that's not true. I hope that's not the reason why they're holding these games back. But I can't help but wonder if that's maybe what is going on. And I want to get all of your opinions. So, alright, that is it for this video. Please let me know what you think. And until the next video, y'all have a good one.